Construction is obviously a big part of real estate, and today we're going to have some fun. We're going to do some trivia questions, so stay tuned to this episode of The Den. The Den, powered by the Lyons Group, a show that explores trending topics in real estate, entrepreneurship, and personal growth. We're a small team of professionals with over $400 million in sales and nearly 2,000 successful transactions. You're listening to time-tested experts and industry leaders. Welcome to The Den. I do think it is important as a realtor. I mean, let's just ask this question. How important is it for you to have like really in-depth knowledge of construction in real estate? Or should you just have kind of the basic wherewithal? What are your thoughts, ladies?
I think the basics. You need to stay in your lane.
Yeah, because I think as long as you have basic on anything, basic accounting, basic, law, basic, we're not the professionals. I am never going to need to provide that information to my customer.
Yeah.
We're always going to go to a professional.
I can know, okay, I need to call an electrician for this task or a plumber or a handyman or whatever.
I can see that's not right and I have a problem.
Yep.
Yeah. But I don't have to be the professional.
You don't do like what Paul does and walk around and knock on walls?
No.
You do that?
No.
Oh, I do it.
You do not.
You're like sounds like a wall.
Yeah, you didn't even know what you're doing.
I think there's something in there.
That reminds me.
I knocked on the door. That's about it.
Oh yeah. Whenever Bryson, we were buying a new car, like our first new car, we were so excited. And Bryson is very handy, but knows nothing about cars. I don't either. He opens up the engine or the cover.
The hood?
The hood, yeah. Exactly. I'm like, I don't know.
You really don't know about cars,
I really don't know. I really don't know anything about cars. And he goes, I was like, and I knew he didn't. I was like, what are you looking for there? He's like, no frogs, and shut the hood. He was like, that was enough of that.
Oh, like no frogs. They call it kicking tires for a reason.
Yeah.
You walk around, you kind of kick the tire,
Yeah.
You
I like when
pretending that you're checking it out.
People ask me, is that a V6 or a V8? And I go, I don't know. I have no idea.
Like the drink?
Yeah, it runs.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
I don't like V8s.
Yeah, they're kind of salty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, and I think you need to have some basics in real estate. Understand some of the basics, but if you get too far into it, you maybe know a little too much, then you can step over your skis a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. You can start saying, well, this is a load bearing and that's not a load bearing. And, you should be able to open this up. That's where you get into problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to steer clear from most of those conversations.
Oh, these your topics? I'm not nervous now.
Go, okay. Come on, Paul. Well, I saved some good ones for you. So let's kick it off first, ladies. Shannon, I'm going to you first.
I'm ready.
Okay. What is Romex?
I don't know any of these. I'm looking at this list. I'm like, I don't know what.
I didn't even know there was a list. This is how unprepared we are.
Yeah. So
I came up questions that we as realtors might need to know. I don't know what most of these are.
You couldn't ask me about a 3-tab shingle. Okay. You had to ask me about Romex? Really? I mean, there's things on here we can talk about.
Let's pivot.
Bullnose, I can talk about that.
Let's pivot. Let's pivot.
Vaulted? Ben.
Tutor?
Pivot.
Let's pivot to another question. Okay.
I don't know most of these.
I'll save the Romex for Paul.
Okay.
Okay. What is the difference between a slab and a crawl space?
Okay, that's easy. A slab is basically a concrete slab that the house is sitting on.
Okay.
And a crawl space is where they actually dig out, they excavate, and they block up, and then they lay the house on that.
Okay. And so what's the advantage of having a crawl space?
Well, there's plumbing advantages. You can get under it to get things fixed, which is a lot. That's what most people like about a crawl space.
That you can access your plumbing.
Yeah, you can get underneath it. Mm-hmm.
So for bonus cred right now. You like that cred? My oldest daughter would be proud of me.
Yeah.
Slay, bussin' cred.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I have no teenagers at home. I don't know any of that.
What are those walls that you were just describing that go up? What are those called?
The sill plate, the foundation?
The foundation walls, yep.
Yeah.
They're also called another thing. Starts with an S. Paul? What?
I don't know where you're going.
Yeah,
with this.
it starts with an S. There's 4 letters.
Stem wall.
Stem wall.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I should take it easy on you.
See, if you said it back the other way, what's a stem wall, we would all know that. But we're trying to guess what you're going towards. That makes it a little trickier.
I got to make it a little bit trickier. Okay.
That's a little trickier. Hi, I'm Shannon, a partner at the Lyons Group. We're dedicated to making your real estate experience the best it can be. If you're looking to buy or sell, go to sjcbroker.com and watch our informational video series. These videos break down the process and shed some light on buying or selling. While you're there, schedule a private consultation with one of our partners. We'd love to sit down, talk strategy, and give you the real advantage in today's market. You deserve the best. So take the steps, and we'll talk to you soon. Now back to the show.
Ninja, what is a P-trap?
Oh,
I know that.
I do, but now I feel pressured.
And what is it used for?
And it's not a rug below the toilet.
No, isn't it like where it loops around and it's at the bottom so with the water doesn't go back up?
Yep.
Whatever. Yeah.
That is a P-trap.
It's the
Do you know what
loopy
it's
part.
used for? Do you know why they make it that way?
I thought it was so no, I actually don't know. I thought it was for so bugs and stuff don't get up in it, but I'm not sure.
Well, I guess that could be.
Because it keeps a little water in there, right?
Yeah, it keeps a little water in the.
It holds water in there so your sewer gases can't come back into the house.
Yep, I didn't know that.
So that always has some water sitting in there.
Yeah, so actually you got through that one. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And if
the
you're
loopy part,
the loopy part,
right?
It's kind of a rounded part. But yeah, that's it. So if you go into an empty house and it smells like sewer, what should be the first thing that you do?
Turn some water on, pour some water in the toilet and the drains.
Yep.
Vacant houses, they'll dry out.
Yeah.
They'll dry out and you can smell it.
Yep. Paul, this is going to be an easy one for you.
What is Romex?
What is polybutylene?
It's plumbing. It's that gray PVC style plumbing pipe. It should not be used anymore. People say that it had a problem with bursting, but that's not what happens. The connections that you use on that one, they don't seal very well. So you usually have a lot of leaks.
Is that what Kitech was made out of?
It's something very similar. It's a different kind of pipe, but polybutylene and Kitech are both pipes that are not used in plumbing anymore.
Yeah, for a lot of years. And they used them, more in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of manufactured homes had the polybutylene. And if you had polybutylene, a lot of lenders wouldn't lend on it. Mm-hmm. And your homeowner's insurance, a lot of people couldn't get insurance that had polybutylene lines. So good answer, Paul Berry.
Romex is electrical wiring.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay, here is another question for Shannon.
Okay.
What is a gable?
Okay, well, you're talking about like a roof?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's the peak.
Yeah, the pitch, the gable. And can you have gables coming out of roofs?
Yeah, because you have those little gable windows that come out, the little peekaboo windows that on attics that are super cute.
Yeah.
Everybody likes those.
Those are dormers.
Dormers.
I knew that too. But then you butted in and took it away from me.
But the peekaboo
right when I was going to say
I think we should start using that.
I like
They're
peekaboo.
dormers. They are dormers.
Yeah. Is it still called a gable if it's like a rounded version, or does it have to have a peak?
That's a good question, and we should find out after the break.
And we'll come back after the break. Okay, so Aspen, she's worried over there.
I am a little bit worried.
Okay, so you've seen a lever, right?
Yeah.
Is it lever or lever?
I say lever.
Lever.
Okay, so you see a lever in plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
In what position is the on position? So if you got water running through a pipe and
Vertical.
So vertical, what do you mean?
So if it's where it's up and down with the pipe, right?
So if it runs with the pipe, it means what?
It's on.
And if it's
horizontal, it's closed.
Okay. Good answer. All right.
Dang,
good.
you are good, girl.
That's a lot.
Stress.
It's surprising because a lot of people don't know that. Like if you have a shutoff valve in your house, they're like, I don't know if the water's on or not. You can tell because the lever is in line with the pipe. That means it's open. If it's not in line, that means it's closed. It's a handy thing for a lot of people to know, especially people that have no construction experience.
What if it's a knob? Which way's open?
We're just going to keep twisting it until it turns off or on.
We're going to go back to the good old days of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Left is
righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
But you can install those things backwards too. So you want to say left, but it could be.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true. I would say 99% of the time, though, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a good question. Okay. Paul, explain to us what a helical pier is.
Okay. A helical pier is usually it is put in under a foundation that has started to sag or sink and what you do is you dig out, you put probably one or two piers, and they're pretty much like car jacks. So you block up the foundation Then you put tension on the pier to push up on the foundation, move your blockers out, and then just fill it back in.
So the helical pier, so how far does it go into the ground? As far as you need it, or they'll hit something solid, or?
I've never installed one.
Yeah.
I know what they are, but not that far.
Yeah. So a lot of helical piers, and you're right, they will add extra supports to the foundation. And if you do it in new construction, they'll take it down to where it hits sandstone, in our area anyways, and it'll twist off, and it gives it something solid that will help brace your foundation.
Usually most stem walls or foundation walls or piers, they just got to get below frost depth.
Mm-hmm.
And then usually
why frost depth?
Because above frost depth, it has temperature variations. Below
Expand and
frost,
contract.
Yeah, and it'll move. So below frost depth is usually the same temperature and doesn't move as much.
Yeah, thank you for that explanation. Save that brain power, Paul, because I'm coming back at you.
Jeez.
Jeez. Okay, Shannon, back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is a vaulted ceiling?
See, now you're just making fun of me because you don't want to give me the hard questions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
Let me take it to the next.
You, isn't he?
Let me take it to the next thing. What's a Tudor ceiling or an alcove? See, now it's too hard.
Okay, so let's just
You overshot, Ben.
yeah, let's just back up a little bit.
Vaulted ceiling.
So vaulted ceiling is not a flat ceiling. Like you got a flat ceiling, but it actually has a pitch
Vaults.
all the way inside the house, and you can see up to it. Yes.
Yeah.
So alcove, I guess I really haven't heard of that as
Curved.
talking about. Yeah, I was going to say talking about a roof or
A ceiling.
a ceiling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, more. I guess you're talking about like when you have it on the corners.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So an alcove has kind of a curve to it,
Mm-hmm.
and a vault is obviously an angle.
Mm-hmm.
Tudor ceiling. Anybody want to take a shot at that?
Is it the one where it like goes up, but then it has like that part?
Kind of a tray to it, so it goes up, and then it tutors.
If anyone's listening to this, you're gonna have to watch the video because I can only describe things with my hands, with the levers.
Right, yeah. We're super animated if you're watching us.
Yeah. So it runs up the wall, right? And then it went 45s over. That's kind of a Tudor ceiling. And then it goes to all the way to the ceiling.
I always think of it like those, instead of having beams, that just go like straight across, they kind of like curve across the top. That's always what I've thought of with Tudor.
Okay. You ready, Ninja? We're coming to you for the next one.
I don't know. I don't feel confident at all in this one.
This is fun.
He just likes to see us squirm.
Yeah.
I think so.
What is bullnose?
The corner of the wall.
And what makes it a bullnose?
It like kind of just protrudes out. So a lot of times, they can be squared off or a little bit rounded, but especially like I've noticed more little higher end construction will be really rounded on the end there.
So bullnose is rounded. What would you call bullnose, Paul?
A rounded corner.
I know you said something earlier.
The place that gets the most damage.
Yeah.
You're moving from moving furniture and stuff.
When you're moving furniture, you're slamming into the bullnose.
It glances off a little bit easier when you run into it
That
if it's curved as
chips.
opposed to if it's just perfect angle.
That's it. Okay, Paul. What is a baffle wall?
Shiplap? Is that what you're talking about?
No. Baffle wall.
Like in a septic tank?
There you go.
It's just a wall that keeps either solids on one side and liquids on the other side, or keeps things from sloshing around.
And where is the wall?
In the septic tank?
Yeah.
In the middle?
In the middle. Yeah. It's a baffle wall. So explain how that works.
No.
Call your local septic professional for that information.
All I know is everything comes in, solids settle on the bottom, liquids go over the top, and then goes out to the leach field.
Yeah, so that's it right there. So the baffle wall keeps the solids separated from the liquids in a septic. And if you use your septic right, which I don't have a septic, but if I did, I could imagine I wouldn't use it right. The microbes.
What?
What are the things, the little bodies that eat the solids?
Oh, microbes.
Microbes. See? Microbes. Hey, you are good. The microbes.
See, if I had prior knowledge, I could have studied all this stuff.
No,
Right.
it's funner
You
when
out there will get better answers.
it's funner when you don't, for sure. Okay.
Micromes.
Microbes. They eat stuff.
Where would you get micromes?
You know, we've seen septics that haven't been pumped in like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
People just take good care of them.
Yeah. Well, they say you don't even need to put anything in them anymore. They say it actually works better if you just use it for the toilet.
Yeah.
You're not putting down like, these wet wipes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you leave that out, you don't have to put the microbial additives in there.
And it works just fine.
It works just fine.
You know what also works fine is memories came back to me when I was a kid. My uncle, I remember him he had this dug out this big thing, this big hole. And then there was a Vita bus that he put in the hole and ran a pipe into the back of it and then buried it. And I was like, what is that? Now that I'm thinking of it, that was a septic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you roll the windows up, it's
Yeah.
it's like having a baffle wall. Everything's going to stay inside.
Oh my gosh. This is terrible. Okay. Shannon, back to you. Okay. What do you call, this is going to be a tricky one. Let's see if you or Aspen can answer this.
Don't bring me into this.
Yeah.
Yeah. What,
Yeah.
Help me out, bro.
when a builder goes out and pours a concrete foundation and they do it all in one pour, what is that called?
Oh, I've heard of that before, but I don't, see, if you would have said the question backwards, I would have said,
Yeah.
I would have said it.
It starts with an M.
I don't know.
Paul?
Monolithic.
Monolithic.
There you go.
That was a tough one. A monolithic pour. And they go out and they pour the foundation all in one pour. And it's a slab. And so
Obviously, you would never pour a crawl space.
The basics, Ben.
I know.
Yeah, we're not dumb.
Okay, just for reference, this
Okay.
is more what I thought we were going to be doing today. So here's a question. What is an allowance in a new construction contract? This is what I thought we were going to be doing. Stuff that's in
Yeah.
our wheelhouse, in
Yeah.
our lane.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I came
Yeah.
ready for.
Yeah, what is an allowance? An escrow? Are you thinking about an escrow holdback?
No, it's a budget set for specific items like flooring,
Oh,
appliances,
I
like the
see.
stuff the buyers pick out.
Yeah, so you have a $20,000 cabinet allowance.
Yeah,
Type
exactly.
of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
so then they can pick out what they want for
See,
their kitchen
that was a tricky one too.
Yeah, but that was more in our lane. That's more of what we do.
Paul, will you follow me out to the parking lot? Because I feel like I'm going to get run over
You're
by
going to need
two
some
cars.
protection.
I don't know.
Two
Just,
cars.
All right.
just to be clear, he did not record the last podcast.
Yeah.
So
He's already in trouble.
You're
Here's
in
another
trouble
one
with
for
me, too.
Paul because
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to get us on this one. Paul,
no, don't put
what?
me in.
No, me and Shannon are on a team.
That's right.
Okay, what is a punch list in a new home construction?
A punch list?
Yeah.
Just like a to-do list and make sure you have everything done in the correct order.
Wrong.
It's the final walkthrough checklist.
Yeah.
Are you on my
I knew
team
that.
or what?
Yeah.
What are we doing over
Except I think we'd still be losing. If me and Shannon are still on a team, I think we're still.
Hey, I'm
I think they're winning
Okay.
this.
So
I think Paul's
get-
winning this one.
I get more on the construction
Yeah.
stuff. Remember the one we did that was the real estate licensing?
Mhm.
This is my
yeah,
Now you're in your lane.
You
I'm
guys
in my
are
lane now.
Exactly.
You guys are.
here? Okay,
this
ladies, let me ask you another question. What is batting? Batting. BATTING.
Does that have anything to do with insulation?
Ding, ding, ding.
Well, because that's what I was going to say. Like batting is like,
Yeah,
is
it's the insulation. So and batting can come in a lot of different forms. It can be the pink
Isonine.
Mhm.
There's a little buzzword.
isonine. Yeah, it could be the pink
look
roll
at you
and
go.
stuff.
I'm so
I
glad
know
you're
it
my
could be
partner.
It could be,
You know what I was thinking of when you said batting though? Like the inside of a pillow, like the stuffing.
Well,
of a
that's
pillow.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking batting, like
Yeah.
fabric, like
Yeah.
a filler. Like
Yeah.
you're on it.
I wasn't following that you were meaning insulation.
Yeah, and in all fairness, this is stuff that
Well, we don't talk in these terms.
Yeah,
and
we don't.
understand
It's like insulation. Like
right.
if I were to call you, I'd be like, "Hey, the batting's wet." I'd be like, "No, the insulation's
Right.
wet."
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we need to figure something else out there. Paul,
batting.
no. What is?
We've already answered
already
that for you,
got that.
Paul.
Insulation.
Yeah, you're
We knew it
You can't
instantly.
take the easy way out.
you're showing up late. You're showing up late to the conversation. What is lath and plaster?
Types of walls.
It's a type of wall. Yeah. Type of
It's
older
like
wall.
it's the mudding.
Yep. And so what they would do, and you see this in a lot of the older homes, you see like if you go like with a normal sheetrock, you can put a hole in it. With plaster, you go to put a nail in it, and it's like concrete.
Mm-hmm.
It just chips apart. But behind that, they have to put in like the boards that you adhere it to, and that's the lath and plaster.
That's coming back. That's the only reason I knew that is because the plaster look is in right now.
It is. Yeah. So what did wallpaper go back out or?
No, wallpaper's always been in. It's never been out.
you
know what's out with wallpaper though? Like the trim wallpaper. That's out.
The border
but
at the top.
Nice wallpaper's always been in my book. Anyways, I love wallpaper.
Yeah, it's the high end wallpaper.
The nice wallpaper.
Yeah. So the trim with like the chickens is gone.
That's out.
The 80s ducks with the bows around their neck.
Oh, I like those though.
The sunflowers.
That's every once in a while.
My mother, we were talking the other day at lunch, and my mother-in-law, my father-in-law goes, "Yeah, Mary Elizabeth, that was when you had the sunflower theme." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you had the sunflower." My mother-in-law went nutso with the sunflower theme in her kitchen.
My mom did the like, not lime green, but like that muted green with like the grapes. She had the fake grapes.
Oh, yeah.
All the fake grapes everywhere.
Grapes were a big thing, yeah.
Yep. And to their credit, it was in then. And they went all in.
Yeah.
My grandma still has chilies and apples. That's like her. Even her Christmas tree is like chilies and apples.
Yeah. I like those. You know, I used to try to eat on those fake grapes. Don't judge me.
Oh, yeah. No, they felt good on your teeth.
I believe it. It explains a lot.
Yeah.
It's the guy that poisoned himself with mothballs.
It's because of the plastic poisoning from the grapes.
Yeah. I deserved all of that.
I know.
Okay, we'll just say that. Okay, Shannon, coming to you. You got this. What is tape and texture?
Oh, that's easy. That's just the surface over the walls. So it's not flat.
Hey, how do we go from like easy to impossible?
Mm-hmm.
Tape into what type of textures?
Can you would tape your seams,
Yep.
And then you would texture the wall so that, you don't see like flat and tape.
Yeah. Because you butt up against the sheetrock, butts up against it.
Yeah.
And then you got to tape that so it gets rid of that line. And then what type of textures? Can you name a couple textures?
No, I guess I didn't know there was types of
flat
textures.
or bumpy.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I see what you're saying. I see.
Yeah.
You mean like
Yep.
Like sometimes they do a trowel over them, and sometimes they spray on. Yeah, exactly. Or orange peel.
Orange peel. There you go.
I see what I see. I'm not understanding your questions.
Yeah, that's the problem here, people. I'm just a terrible asker of the question.
No, what it is it's guys' minds and girls' minds.
That's true.
Yeah, I just need it in a different form.
In a different form. Yeah.
Ben,
you guys are carrying this wedding.
Right. I have a question for you.
Yes. No, I don't know what Ulta is.
So, right. So in construction,
yes,
when you see those kind of split level medallion houses that kind of like my rental property, you've got the bottom of the house and the top of the house is bigger. It sits out. So you've got like the top of the house has a bump out around the entire house. It's bigger.
Yeah.
What's that bump out called?
You're trying to get me.
I am trying to get you. What's that called?
Moment. I'm going to say that is how you cantilever over.
I was sure he wouldn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah, you got a cantilever.
Yeah. And so it's just like a balcony or any other structure that goes out.
Hangs out.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know that, you would have got me. The only reason I knew that is because when we built our house, I would always go to the construction site first thing in the morning, and then I would go to the office. And I got there really early. I think it was like just before 7:00. And I walked in and the builder was there. And I'm like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "I'm just thinking about how to cantilever your stairway." And I was like, "What does that mean?" Like, I'm glad you're thinking about this because it didn't even cross my mind. And we have this kind of radius stairway. And I can see now what he was thinking. He had to get a board that went out to the middle of nowhere,
right,
but was secure.
Right. A structure that hangs out.
Yep.
Correct.
That's it.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So we're learning.
Well, see, I thought I was going to be all tricky and
they gotcha.
Didn't work. Didn't work, Ben.
Okay. Aspen, you want to do one more?
Sure.
Yeah.
She's in pain over there.
Do you like how I avoided my question? It was my turn and I turned it around on him.
That's what I should have done. I have more questions.
I was going to say,
you want to fire one away?
What question do you have, Ben?
Okay, here's my question for you. I think you got this one. What's the difference between an architectural shingle and a 3-tab shingle?
I have no idea. Could not even begin to tell you. I don't know very much about roofs.
And that's why you are a fantastic realtor, because you're like, call the roofing professional and have them look. So 3-tab versus architectural. Shannon, you want to take a stab at it?
Yeah. So you've got a couple kinds of roofs. You got rolled, which is just completely flat.
Yeah.
Then you've got your 3-tab, which is basically literally 3 tabs. And that's a little better than just the flat rolled. Or you've got the architectural shingle, which is the one with all the dimension on it. And that's what you normally see these days. You can tell the difference when you look at roofs and you see the cheap roofs, which are really flat. You can just see the lines through them.
Oh, okay.
Or the ones where you kind of see them popping out with a lot of little dimension to them. Those last a lot longer.
Okay.
That's an architectural shingle.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Den, powered by the Lyons Group. Hit the subscribe button to keep informed and check the show notes below for direct links to our buyer and seller video series. The buyer and seller video series can give you an inside track on taking the right steps in real estate. If you'd like to learn more about the Lyons Group or to schedule a consultation, go to sjcbroker.com. Complex markets require complex strategies. The Lyons Group can give you a true advantage in any market. Whether you're buying or selling, residential or commercial, contact us directly at sjcbroker.com. We're time-tested experts with a client-first approach, and we'll see you next time in the Den.